Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the human training your dog has been begging you for. If you need help understanding your dog and their behaviors, if you're having issues with training, you've come to the right place. We're Charles. I'm Charles. This is Laura.
Hi.
We're the co-founders of Canine Culture, and with us, as always, is Wyatt.
Hi.
Julie.
Hey there.
They're the head of evaluations and our lead trainer. So our intent with our podcast is to help you understand your dog better, help you improve your relationship together. If you're having behavioral challenges or obedience challenges, hopefully the information that we talk about on our podcast amongst each other will assist you in moving past the friction point that you have. And then if you're needing help with a trainer, hopefully the subjects and the context that we talk about will help you in selecting the right trainer for you and your pup. Our goal at the end of the day is to give you the ability to have a dog that's a joy to live with, not a nightmare to live with. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about specifically picking a dog trainer. It's not just Googling a trainer or Yelping a trainer. What do you look for? There's key things that you should look for. Not one trainer is not the right trainer for everybody. Here at Canine Culture, we're not going to train every dog in the Dallas metro area. We're fine with that. We're not probably the right trainer for everybody's goals because everybody has a little bit different goal with their dog. Their dogs have different challenges, but also, some people just have different levels of involvement that they would like to be. So that's really what we're going to delve into. How to, based on what you're wanting from training and what you're wanting to put into training, what are some key things that you want to look for when picking that trainer? What should you evaluate? What are the things that you should notice? What are the red flags? What are the signs that, yep, this is the place for me and my pup? And we'll start the conversation of some of those key things with Julie. So Julie, if someone's out looking for a trainer, they're going to start their hunt. They're typically going to, find somebody on Google, Yelp, or an ad on maybe Facebook or Instagram, or maybe they're following a trainer on Instagram or Facebook already. And then there's always the other way of, hey, who'd you have train your dog? And then you get a referral.
Right. Well, it's actually funny that you bring that up as the first opening statement for that, because I think one of the frustrating things about social media today is that a lot of trainers out there, either oncoming, growing trainers, they can really make themselves look super fancy or really good. And sometimes the little tiny clips that are shown on social media are not always what is the true dictating fashion of that trainer. So it's funny because a lot of the things that I wrote down and thought about are things that today our company definitely do. Like we do things on social media, we do things on, we talk about the things that we are certified in or the things that we know. But a lot of those things can definitely be like hindering points for a client if they really don't know what they're looking for, at least in my opinion. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
So if you don't know, it's sometimes easy to, like I'm not a mechanic. A guy can talk some mechanic language to me and I think he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
But he's just BSing me.
Right.
And I don't have a BS barometer for a mechanic.
Right.
So I wouldn't know I'm being BS'd or not.
So I think on one hand, like when it comes to for example, the certifications and things like that, there are definitely a lot of like companies or things out there that are valuable for that. But the lack of certifications that are done online is exactly that, is that they're done online. And so then a trainer doesn't actually have necessarily like the experience.
Right.
And so then they advertise that as though that holds all this power as to why they should be
right, because
the
they
trainer.
have
yeah.
ABC I'm just making this up in case there's an ABC. To have ABC
Right.
certification, it was 6 hours of online something.
Right.
Yeah. What, I mean, did you actually handle a dog? Did you train a dog?
Or even if they went to some big trade school type dog training facility, they still only train 2 dogs.
Right.
4
Yeah,
dogs.
it just takes time.
And
You
kids
gotta
right
work
out of
with a
college,
lot
they might technically know how to do
Right.
it all.
They have a master's degree,
Yeah,
but they
don't
haven't
really
actually
experience
done it.
doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where it's hard too, though, because then there's some people who I do believe there are trainers out there who have gotten really good just straight out of school.
Yep.
And then there's others who you can tell they struggle and they take that degree, I guess, if you want to call it, and they just hold on to that like that's the whole meaning.
Holy grail.
Yeah.
They're
and,
training,
and they
yes.
don't want to learn anything new.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's a different.
Yes.
No, that's not what I learned. Yeah,
Right.
but you know, we didn't. We go to college to get a foundation, but nobody comes out of college knowing how to run a business. They don't teach you how to run a business in
Right.
college. You get a degree in business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then there's the opposite of people that have been training dogs for 20, 30 years, but they never grow because they think their way is the only way, and it's the only way they do it.
Yep.
So that's
But
not good
there's
too.
some great trainers that have never, other than probably self-study reading books.
Oh, yeah.
They're phenomenal trainers because every dog is a learning
Yeah.
experience for them. They one more learning opportunity that they put another tool in their belt. I find the majority of great trainers have no certifications.
Yeah.
They are in it
For the dog.
to help the dog and
Yeah.
want to learn everything they can.
They learn through the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't have any air quote certifications, but they go to seminars, they read books,
They have mentors.
they follow mentors.
Yeah.
You know, that really is where the basis of most trainers get
Yeah.
ongoing education and information, and then not being closed-minded.
That's the big one.
Uh,
And so we're talking about finding a trainer. Finding a trainer should be an active thing you do with your dog. So it's even if you go to a facility or if you have a dog trainer come to your house, they should come to your house, work with your dog, talk to you, figure out what your goals are, ask you questions, you ask them questions. Over the phone, I don't believe that they can actually know what your dog needs if they're just doing your interview over the phone. Or if they want to meet you without the dog, or they want to meet and not touch the dog. That's not a way to
or
see.
you bring your dog to the facility, but the
Yeah.
trainer
I
has
was
to
gonna
meet
say,
your
yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Like we don't do in-home evaluations.
Yeah.
A lot of trainers do, and that's because they don't have a facility, of course.
but that's
But one of the main reason we've made the decision to not do in-home consultations is, for one, the drive time. We'd have to raise our prices because now you're only seeing 2 dogs a day instead of 4. But also, it's the dog's domain. It's his territory. So I want the dog to be a little off balance when they come in. So we're kind of on equal footing. Especially if it's a resource guarding dog, the last thing I need to do, okay, I got it. I don't need
and not
that
only
first
that,
time.
it's going to be exactly that if they choose to sign up. That's how the dog
Exactly.
is going to be during the boarding train anyway. So you might as well
So we need to
get
see
a
how
taste
he's
of
going
what they're
to
going to
really
be
do.
like.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. How'd you have the trainer interact with the dog? And so, we do our evaluations here at our facility, but whether your trainer that you're evaluating does an evaluation with you and your dog at their facility, at their home, or at your home, or at a neutral, a park or something. The main thing I look for is, do they bring their dog, their personal dog, out and show you a demonstration of what their dog can do? If they do, I'm not interested. I could really care less what their dog does. They're going to put a lot more time into their dog than the average person. Of course, I expect that dog to be a phenomenal dog. He's, a dog trainer.
Yeah.
But what's also kind of like, I don't know if it's a secret, but those routines that a trainer will show their dog do to help them make a sale, I guess, for lack of a better word, they are just that. They're routines. They're practiced routines in a specific pattern. Of course, the dog nails it. He does it 3 to 5 times a day.
Yeah.
So it's a routine. Now, can that guy or gal go sit down with their dog at a patio restaurant and have their dog be calm? I care more about that than will their dog walk in reverse.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and so do our clients.
Yeah.
You know, do we want our dogs to learn a few tricks? Of course. And once your dog has a great foundation, then you can start having fun and teaching your
Yeah.
dog tricks.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I think also the frustrating aspect of having a professional dog trainer come in with their personal dog is that okay. So some clients like you, they're not going to care. They're going to go, I don't care because you're working on this every day. But then there's the opposite side of that, where their clients are going to go, oh, I want to do that. And then they think they'll be able to do that in 3 weeks.
And they think that's going to be their dog. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So then it's like, what? No,
that's a false
it's not going to be like that.
Because that trainer's put a year plus into getting the dog there. Yeah.
There's another little secret they don't talk about either. A lot of these dogs are bot trained.
Oh,
so the owner, the dog trainer has not taught this dog. There's a lot of franchise companies out there that buy trained dogs.
And buy
train demo dogs.
They're called demo dogs. So you pay a couple grand for a demo dog. He came to y'all trained.
Yeah.
The owner of that franchise did not train that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not uncommon at all with national.
And then there's other things you need to watch out for is dog training that only use one training tool. You should be able to use whatever training tool that dog sitting in front of you needs. And that's going from the e-collar down to dog
lead, a prong collar.
But people that are pretty positive, you can't, my opinion, you cannot use one quadrant of the 4 quadrants to train any living animal because you have to be able to, you need punishment or not punishment, you need correction, or whatever it is, need to know what they did was not the correct thing to do.
Right.
So always doing food to train a dog is good at the beginning, but you need to be able to wean it out. The dog needs to be able to think for themselves and have corrections.
Not be bribed into complying with that.
Yeah, the amount of COVID spoiled brat dogs that we've trained, you're just like, you just need to put your foot down, tall dog. No.
Yeah.
And then if it keeps acting up, just put it in his crate. Don't be upset. It just needs a correct. It doesn't need to be mean and punishment.
Yeah.
But it needs some boundaries.
It needs some
boundaries. That's what I was looking for.
And boundaries.
Yeah. And clarity. Number one thing in dog training is clarity. If you get a dog trainer that does not use marker words, my personal opinion, you cannot have as much clarity as you can. You could use marker words, clickers, the same thing, but there has to be clarity in something that they use. So the dog knows they're doing something right. The dog knows when they're doing wrong and when they did it right.
Incorrectly.
Yeah.
Because the more you can make dog training black and white, the faster.
For the dog, yes.
And the humans, too.
And the fairer it is to the dog.
Yeah. That's
why make them guess?
Big part. Everyone, we're talking about the dog, it's the human, too. It does not matter how well we train your dog, or your trainer trains your dog. If they don't train you how to maintain those skills and abilities, there's no point in doing that dog training.
Yeah.
Your dog will forget it all, or just learn, why should I follow the rules if mom can't even enforce the rules?
It's like getting a Ferrari and you do not know how to drive a stick shift.
No, you're going to crash it.
You're going to wreck it. You're never going to get the most out of that vehicle, right? So that's a great point why it is, if you do a board and train or any type of day and train, any type of advanced obedience where you're really expecting a lot of obedience, the trainer has to train the client too.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we don't do one big marathon 3-hour meeting at the end, because that's information overload. You are not going to retain very much of that information. It's too much information. Plus, your dog cannot do that stuff with you for 3 straight hours.
Yeah.
He's exhausted. He's mentally checked out.
Oh, yeah.
Julie, like you wanted to add something to one of the things Laura had mentioned.
No, well, I was just thinking about what you were talking about, the 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
I think one of the complications with all of that is that people don't realize that with the 4 quadrants, the whole reinforcement and punishment is not necessarily about corrections or going in saying no aversively and just asserting your dominance or whatever people think. It's more about, adding or subtracting something so that you can either create a better behavior or take away a behavior, if you will, if you want to put it in simple terms.
Yeah.
Right. So when you put it in that sense, I feel, for me personally, if I was out there, a client trying to look for a dog trainer, if a dog trainer started talking to me about things like that, and it was very clear, not even just the quadrants, but just more in depth, like why they do, so going back into the whole methodology and the why they use the training tools and things like that, I would be very hesitant to want to go to that trainer if they couldn't actually explain to me why.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the issue that we run into, to no fault of anybody's. But when clients come in, they'll come and sometimes they're like, I don't know if I want to use the prong collar. It just looks really mean. And then it's our jobs to educate them and say, well, this is why. Or, okay, this is not going to work. A slip is going to be better. Or a training collar is going to be better. Right. But it's our job to be able to educate the clients. And if we can't do that, I mean, I don't really know why you're even training the dogs, because then you're not even going to be able to explain it.
Yeah.
That's a great point, because, we use virtually every tool.
Right.
I guess there's probably a tool I haven't heard of.
We haven't used bonker.
We don't use bonkers. No. You don't hit a dog.
We do not.
Hit a dog. Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, we'll use slip leads, flat collars, martingale collars, training collars, prong collars, e-collars. It all depends on the dog.
Yeah.
And we don't. So I'll just go down this road for just a minute. Traditional, typical e-collar trainers slap an e-collar on the dog the very first day, and they're off and running. And they put an e-collar on every dog. We use e-collars, but we only use e-collars if our client's goal is to have an off-leash dog, or if they're going to be here for a long period of time and want somewhat of off-leash control. Mm-hmm. If it's less than 2 weeks, we don't even introduce an e-collar to the dog. They never have one. They don't need it because we don't have enough time to train the dog. Yeah. Kind of makes us an anomaly. But there's other trainers that train
where our facility is so huge, we have the ability to start off away from the distractions, so we don't have. That's why a lot of places, on the devil's advocate, why they start day one with prong collar, e-collar, is they're in a tiny little field with 10 other dogs, and they're just struggling to get the dog's attention.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Too much competition with competing motivators.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to, and that's one of the things you want to look for when you're evaluating a trainer. You need to see their facility. So if it's a dog training company that has a facility, you need to see the facility and you need to see the training area. So there's a training company here in the Dallas area. They won't show their training actual facility. They say their insurance won't cover that. Really, we all have the same insurance. There's just a couple carriers and it's all the same plan. So that it just makes me wonder why that's weird. That's a red flag. Is it not air conditioned? Is that why? I don't know. It's a red flag. You should feel comfortable. There should be nothing off limits that you see. Now, here's the one drawback of that is if it's a dog trainer that you're looking at that trains from their home, and that is what most dog trainers do, and that's fine. I want to see his home. I want to see where my dog is going to sleep in that house. Is it in a crate in a garage like a lot of trainers do?
That's not AC'd or heated.
That's not AC'd or heated. Most people's garages are not a pleasant experience in the summertime.
In Dallas.
They're not, especially in Dallas.
Or if you live somewhere cold.
Yeah, or super, anyway, you get the point. You need to see. If they're not comfortable with that, then you shouldn't be comfortable sending your dog there. You want to know what their movement's going to be when they're not training. Are they just in a 3 foot by 3 foot crate or 2 foot by 3 foot crate for 12 hours a day? If they keep them on the weekends, what's going on the weekends? That's why we send, unless you're traveling or our clients traveling, that's why we send the crates to dogs home on the weekends, so they can just take the weekend off, do some homework with their client or with their owner. But yeah, you do, if you're going to have a trainer that works from their home, you need to see it. If they're not comfortable with that, then they shouldn't be working from their home, because that's a reasonable expectation to be able to see where your dog's going to be spending that time.
And preferably when you set up your evaluation, I would ask them or set up your time in the middle of the day and try and see other dogs actually in training.
Yeah. Yes. You want to see them working with a client's dog.
Yeah.
Does that dog look happy?
Yes.
Does he look like, or she look like they know what they're doing? And it's fine if the dog's a mess. It depends on what day, the dog's in training. We don't expect them to show you a perfectly trained dog. What you're not evaluating how well is the dog trained. You're evaluating the interaction and the process and methods that the trainer's using when they're training with the dog. Because obviously you're not looking at a completely trained dog, you're looking at a process. And that's where your dog's going to be at some point in their process with that trainer. So does that dog look happy, or is their head down? Does he look engaged? Maybe it's been going on for too long. There's a sweet spot for how long you should train a dog, and what's too much and what's too little. Those are definitely areas that you should be looking at. If it's a facility or in home. In this context, we're talking about basically board and train or day and train. Is it clean?
That's a big one.
Do you want to vomit the moment you walk into the boarding room? I cannot tell you how many just boarding places I've been to that almost made me gag vomit. Because, oh God.
Yes.
Or when you park in the parking lot, can you hear it before you even go in the building?
Yeah.
Does it sound like a pound? Is it loud?
Right.
Some of them you could actually smell it too.
You can smell and see when you get out of your car. Yeah, it's a little icky.
So, what are their cleaning processes? So we are ridiculously anal here. I'll give you an idea on that. We have tons of toys. We're heavy into toys and play, intentional play with the dogs that are in training. So we have 2 buckets of bins on every table in every training field. And each training field is 3,500 square feet, and we have 7 of them. Then 1 bucket is full of clean toys. At the end of the day, those toys move themselves over to, or get moved over to
the ghost.
Yeah, the ghosts move them. They get moved over to the dirty bucket because dogs have been chewing and having them in their mouths. Well, dogs get flu and colds and sick just like a human does. So you drink after another person out of a cup, if they have the flu, you might get it. So we sanitize our toys every night. That's a pain in the rear. We would rather really not do that. I mean, seriously, who wants to do that? Nobody that I know does that. Is it a little over the top? Probably, but we're just going to do it anyway. Do they use mop buckets to clean their kennels? I'm just crazy about that. That is just disgusting. Mop bucket, the third time you put that mop in that water, you're just dipping the mop in contaminated water now. Because if they're cleaning up urine, they're going to need to change that mop bucket about 6 or 7 times to have it fairly clean. We do not use mop buckets. We have a very expensive wet back system that puts down precisely the amount of sanitizing solution with the spray nozzle. Pull it up. We want to sanitize the kennel, not just clean the kennel. And that's why a lot of places do smell, because they're just using mop buckets. Or they're using, what are those? Pressure hoses.
Oh God, yeah. Pressure washer.
Pressure washer kind of thing. Oh my God, that's even worse. It vaporizes or atomizes everything it's hitting. So you're literally spreading fecal matter and urine matter all throughout the air. And then it eventually comes down. Now it's on doorknobs. Now it's on bowls. It's on, oh my God. That's why a lot of places really smell. So those are the things you really want to ask. How do you clean? What's your process? That's important, because even with all that rigidity that we have in our cleaning processes, once in a while a dog gets sick because a dog came in sick and he passed it on to another dog. I mean, there's vets have dogs get sick. You're never going to get 100% of never having a dog get a cold, but we do virtually everything we can to minimize it. So you want to know, what steps do they proactively take? For cleaning their fields, cleaning their kennels, cleaning if they use crates. Do they use crates or do they use kennels? Where's your dog sleep at night?
And then when you're looking for a trainer, some dog trainers just do private lessons one-on-one. Some just do day and train, board and train. If you go to someone that's just going to do private lessons, ask them why. Is your dog a good candidate for just private lessons?
Yeah. Why?
Or why is it good candidate just for day and train or board and train? If they only do one thing, they're going to
pitch
that one thing, but that might not be the best thing for your dog. We have dogs that come in here that maybe the best thing is a private lesson.
Right.
And we don't do private lessons, so we will send them off to people that we think would help them more. Or if they just want to do group class,
and they have a pretty decent
dog. We have other people that do that. So we refer people that we don't think we will be the best fit. So are they that way too? Or are they just going to pitch what they do and downplay every other way to train a dog?
Right. And then if it's any kind of aggression, human or dog aggression, if it's dog aggression, how many dogs is your dog going to get exposed to during the training process? If it's only one other dog, that's not enough. They're going to probably become buddies with that one dog
Yep.
because they've been around that one dog so much. And then humans, what steps does the trainer take to, socialize them with a lot of humans?
That's a
really
big one too. If you have a aggressive dog or a fear biting or anything like that, very few places will train dogs like that, and you need to see the process.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those trainers are old school punishment style training,
compulsion based. Yeah.
And the problem with that is, your dog in a month might not growl at people anymore, but they never fixed the anxiety problem. They just broke it of growling. Now it's just going to wait till that person's close enough to bite them.
Yeah.
They never fixed the root problem. But that's why you need to see the process, because the end results look all cool and fancy, but it's all surface level solutions. You never actually fixed the problem.
That's another thing you need to know, because some places they teach your dog X, Y, and Z, and that's all they do. They don't, like Wyatt just said, they don't dig down into why the dog's acting this way. And that is what you need to do.
And I think before you call your first dog trainer, you need to write down, what do you want when training's all done? What do you really want? Do you just want your dog to sit and come and stay? Or a better way to look at it is, what kind of life do you actually want to have with your dog? If you look at it from that perspective, hey, I'd like to take my dog, to parks and go on hikes and, boating and kayaking. Think of the lifestyle that you want to have, or you want your dog to be able to have with you. That's the kind of trainer you're looking for.
Yeah.
We're not looking for just obedience. We're looking for those other things. And now you know how to ask some very pointed and specific questions of, well, how are you going to help me get my dog to like car rides? Because right now he doesn't. Or, be good, in a 20-foot bubble when we're hiking off of a leash. Whatever that is, maybe you want to go to patio restaurants a lot. Okay. What's that process in helping you get there? But you really need to look at it from, what are you trying to achieve from dog training? Otherwise, you hire a contractor to remodel your house, and he said, well, I paint all my houses blue. Well, you wanted a yellow house.
Don't matter.
So blue wasn't important to you. Right. So dog trainers are kind of that way too. Every trainer's got their strengths. You want to make sure that you're aligning yourself with a trainer that's got the strengths that you would like to see at the end result of training.
I would very much really think about their answer to those questions is also very important.
Right.
If someone's promising you the moon and everything, they're lying to you. Like an aggressive dog. This is not going to be a month-long fixed solution.
Right.
Is that most problems dogs have? It is a long-term solution to actually fix the problem.
Yeah, you made sure that.
No, fearful dogs too.
But fearful dogs too, or
that's
harder.
Longer.
Yeah. It's, you want to get their answer and think, is that a realistic time frame?
Yeah.
It's like us humans trying to get over anxiety going to a therapist. You're not going to go to 4 sessions with a therapist and be cured forever.
Yeah.
And then, I like to say a lot that dog training is time intensive for the trainer and you, but it's also expensive. You want to get it right the first time. You don't want to do it twice. And it breaks my heart every month that we'll train a dog that's done a 2, 3, 4 week boarding
already
at another company in the Dallas area. Something I think the most we ever did was 3 times 1 month. 2 of them were from the same trainer. It is heartbreaking because someone put a lot of money and time into that, and now they have to start all over. But
one thing I would be anal about, because good quality dog training is expensive, is find a place that sends you videos every day of the training.
Of your person, of your dog.
Specific dog, because it could be a dog and pony show when you go in there and they might be hiding stuff you don't really know. It could be some demo dog that just happens to be out when you were there. Whatever. You want a video of your dog in training every single day, what it's doing that day. So because pictures are deceiving.
Yeah. Yes, that's very true.
Read your dog's body language in a minute long. You can't fake it.
Yeah, if it's a 2 or 3 minute long video, you're going to see your dog interacting with the trainer.
Yes.
You know your dog. You can tell, is he happy or is he scared? Is he having a good time? Are you looking for perfection? No, you're watching the process.
Yeah.
I love our training videos we send out every day because to me, it's a training journal of the dog's growth over the 2, 3, 4 weeks.
And if they say they do this, but they're chopped up videos with music and they look so cool, that means they've chopped out stuff that you probably want to know about.
We do not edit. Yeah, that's a great
I like to do stuff like
but that's for the internet.
Social media.
Social media, yes.
You know, in the social media world, it's got to be 30 or 60 seconds, and that's all you got, right? But yeah, if you're getting a video update from your trainer, it should fairly much be unedited, and there's probably a mistake or two in there.
Yep.
That's okay. They're human. Your dog's probably made a mistake or two too.
Well, preferably, you want a video when your dog does screw up, so you know what.
So you can explain to the
how to fix that problem.
Right.
It's like getting instructions.
A good training, a good video of your dog during the process is also how we look at it is a lesson, a mini lesson for you, because you're going to face that same problem eventually. So save all those videos, and when you address, oh man, that 3-minute video again to see the proper way to help your dog through that challenge.
I also wanted to say something about give dog trainers, when you come in with your dog, have an expectation of what your dog is. So if you have a shy or timid dog, it's not going to be the life of the party. So you cannot pay a trainer any amount of money to make your dog the life of the party. So kind of have that expectation when you're going into that.
Have a reasonable expectation.
So if a trainer tells you something, don't take it to heart. If it's a reputable trainer, they're telling you the truth, what they see and where your dogs can be, and just keep that in mind too.
Yeah. Any other final tidbits before we wrap it up?
Miss Julie?
No, I think we should do a video at some point of, a podcast episode of things about clients.
Yes.
I think it would go hand in hand with this.
Yeah, because it would go hand in hand with this. You're right.
Well, and you're not going to find some dog trainer that does everything perfectly. You're trying to find the best of all these different areas to get the best option.
Yeah. Because remember, your dog is an emotional creature, so you can have the best dog trainer, and they're going to get it so far, and you got to get it the rest of the way.
You're looking for a good fit.
Yes.
You know, that's really how I look at it. You're looking for a good fit for you and your dog, and one that you feel comfortable making that decision with.
Well, it's also that one dog you just trained. Fabian's one of our best dog trainers.
Oh, yeah.
Struggling. And then we handed the dog to Laura over here, and it was a male thing that no one knew about.
Nope.
And the owner didn't know.
No one knew that it was an issue. We handed the dog to Laura, a female, and all of a sudden the dog's coming out.
The whole personality came out.
Yeah,
we don't have this issue. So stuff like that.
And that's one of the drawbacks. So we'll end with this. One of the drawbacks of working with a trainer that is a one-man or one-woman show. They don't have the ability to, hey, this ain't working. Let someone else that I work with give it a try. Maybe it's a us thing. Maybe we're just not gelling. That's super, super important. I hope our conversation helped those of you that were listening. For if you are searching for a dog trainer, if you have any questions, feel free to email us or reach out to us on our website, k-9culture.com. And of course, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We always include cute, but as well as educational videos and posts on there. And if you are needing help with your dog, we'd love to help you. Feel free to give us a call or reach out to us on our website, and we can discuss any issues you're having. And if you're within 4 to 6 hour drive, we've actually trained dogs as far away from as Las Vegas. So don't feel that distance really matters, although, it does for most people. Next week's subject on the podcast will be brown noser or class favorite. We're going to be talking about issues that we've had with some of our favorite dogs that each of us have trained, and why those dogs are, some of our favorites, why they made it up to that. And we all are bringing different types of dogs to the conversation and with different struggles. And then why that, why that was just years later, we still remember those dogs so fondly. And from all the team here at K9 Culture, we want to thank you for spending some of your morning with us. And go have fun
with your dog.